All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're excited to have everybody here. We are jazzed to see everybody excited about learning a little bit about gate safety. Purpose of this meeting is just a quick introduction into TGM 500 and 501 standards. So we're going to be kind of diving into that, but not just that, but taking a look at some of our existing standards that are out there, which are amazing. I mean, we're talking about the UL 325 and ASTM F 2200 when it comes to gate operators. I've been a big supporter of those throughout the years. So we definitely want to understand the differences between what has been created here with TGM 500 and 501 and the existing standards that are out there now. By no means is TGM 500 or 501 meant to replace the existing standards that are out there, but more meant to complement the standards that are out there now. So, and kind of fill in some gaps that needed to be filled in about actual real life situations in the field and how the standards are applied to gates and gate operators out there. So that's what we'll be covering. The gaps in the real world would probably be, we tend in our industry to say, hey, just make sure you build that per the standards and per the codes and things like that. And that doesn't always work out when you're in the field. So basically, what we're going to be kind of discussing is TGM 500, which is the operator and the entrapment zones. And basically, that's kind of what we'll be going over a little bit. So first, I'm going to take you over and make you kind of understand how to find this information and how to access it. So I'm going to be sharing the screen here for a moment to let everybody see it. So you can start off your journey, if you want to call it, over at gatesafety.com, but that's really more of the forward-facing site that we're just nonstop working on to get the information out to end users, property managers, and also to the industry and stuff that you can share with the public yourself. I'm a firm believer that you have to be able to share the information if you're going to call it a safety standard. So some of the issues that we've had is we just weren't able to print, publish, or share any of the standards that were created for us in the past. So we've been working on this for decades, but we don't want this stuff hidden inside of boardrooms and code books anymore. We want to get that information out there, get it to as many people as we can. And if we can get one person, I mean, just one person to start using fall protection or even understand that they needed to be using fall protection or do some entrapment areas coverage or something like that, then we've succeeded. We've already added to what was already out there. So the question will come up, hey, what does this add to the industry? We've already got that right there. That's what it adds. If we get one other person interested in safety or doing something that they weren't doing, it's really, safety is not about certifications or anything like that. Safety is about safety. It's about building gates safer and making sure people are aware of what they can do and how easy it is. And I mean how easy it is to build a safer gate operator than, or even automatic gate or the fence or gate itself or even the manual gates. How easy it is to build them safe and how it really doesn't cost much more. So that's what we're going to be kind of getting into. So if you'll take a look at the page, if you go to gatesafety.com, you'll see every month there'll be a link right here that you'll be able to push and join the meeting. It's going to be the first of every month at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is the time zone I'm on. So you'll be able to go to this site and you'll be able to access the latest link that's going to get you over to the meeting every month. Now, this page right here is going to have just a lot of information, and then it's going to have the gate safety checklist on this one. This right forefront is really not the stuff that I'll be showing you in a minute, but this will be something that you can hand if you really wanted to. You can hand this, or even the homeowners, property owners, things like that could go and download. And this is going to be stuff, and I'll come back and show you this when it's done and where they can access this. But if you are a contractor, and you'll see some other forums here, but if you are a contractor, you can actually just go and click on this button. And it's going to take you over to gatemonitor.com, which is who helped us build this whole thing. So right here off the beginning, you're going to see training manuals to let you get a little bit more involved and understand what we're doing. So you'll have a training manual. You can click on that, and that'll pull up a training manual, which is a 16-page guide to making you understand a little bit more about it and why we need the TGM standards, which I think everybody should go back and review. There's no doubt. Real awareness, we're going to be talking about TGM 500 covers the equipment. TGM 501 is going to cover the gate construction, testing for compliance. Installer checklist is also going to be included in here, and some standards. So as you flip through this, which I definitely encourage everybody to go through, you're going to understand what this was designed for. We're going to get into great details about TGM 500 requirements. If you have an operator out there and you're trying to make it basically comply to the TGM 500s, we are looking for a manual release. Auto close delay, 5 seconds or more, and I'll get into a little bit more. Force limits. There's a lot of different ways to test this, and there's some cheap, inexpensive testers to test the force limits. I think sometimes we just rely on the manufacturer to test this stuff in the lab, and we hope, but we don't even understand what the features are, and we adjust that sensitivity up and down, without ever understanding what that's doing and the force, that it actually applies. So we will be going over some of the force limits, and then even understanding what normally closed safety sensors is opposed to monitored safety devices. So we definitely want to have a little bit further discussions on that. Reverse stop behavior and what happened. Hey, we got Sean here on here. What's going on, man? Looks like he's at an airport or something. But in any
Hey, what's
case,
up, man?
so what's going
Just
on?
listening. Just
Hey,
listening.
thanks for joining us. Hey, I don't know if you can see the screen yet, but we're going to be going over some of the reverse stop behaviors, also of the gate operator function. So as you get into this TGM 500 equipment, power disconnects, and we're going to get a little bit more in depth on that. Again, I encourage everybody to go over this gate safety manual. It's definitely a lot of valuable information in here. And since monitor safety devices, there is a lot of product-specific monitor safety devices. It doesn't mean that you don't conform to the TGM 500. It just means that we're looking for normally closed safety inputs so that you can actually use. And the reason the reason we don't want operators tied to one specific type of photo eye is because it's always evolving. It's like anything else. I mean, there's not any electronics in your house that hasn't evolved probably quicker than you're even done with it. There's a newer model that's either better, safer, more compliant with something else. And when we start tying stuff into one specific product, maybe there's a better photo eye out there. Maybe there's a better safety device or something that you want to use, and you may not be able to upgrade your safety devices even though they're outdated. So we are looking for them to be a normally closed, which means if it's disconnected, it's basically the operator's not going to work. And we realize there's always going to be a way for somebody to bypass it, but there's no difference in your car. I mean, we didn't make our cars not run without putting the seatbelt in, but you can get rid of that buzzer by plugging it in behind you, right? So if somebody really wants to circumvent safety, obviously there's a way to do it no matter what you do, whether it's lab tested or field tested, right? If it's somebody's intent, and hopefully it's not, is to avoid it, then obviously they're going to figure out a way. And we've all been out to units that have done that. So monitor safety devices, you definitely want to take a look at some of the exemptions for that, because we do want to include. There's a lot of operators out there that have been built per standards and monitor devices, and those still qualify, under the standard. As long as they meet a couple of our requirements. Building safer gate operators from the ground up. That's what this is about. This is about field verification in the field, and not just relying on a lab. And there's a lot of safety devices and features on these gate operators that you just don't even understand. They're just part of the standard, and the standard is this long, and you have to have an attorney to basically interpret it for you, right? And when you're done doing that, you really don't even understand. Like I said, you didn't understand force, how much force there needed to be and things like this. So we're going to be getting into a lot more of that, in some of these future ones. But TGM 501, that's where we go from the 500 to the 501. So this will be pretty similar to what we have, like once you get into some of the installation standards that we have out there. Now you're talking about frame strength and what we got to do. And I'm going to get into some in-depth conversations on that. And just kind of going over a summary of what we're going to be talking about. It's pretty similar, what you're used to already, really. You're probably doing most of this, but we're gonna actually not just tell you have to do it a certain way. We're gonna show you, and some of this stuff's gonna explain to you why. I mean, what's the point? I mean, we can tell you all day long, hey, make sure you don't have it more than 4 inches off the ground. Don't have abrupt edges. Don't have this. Don't have that. But we tend in our industry to not explain to you why, and things like that. So frame strength and rigidity, I think this is a common sense. Make sure the gate frame is strong enough to withstand an operator pulling on this thing, right? And the force that you're going to be putting on this thing. And 4 inches bottom clearance, you don't want any more, and that's kind of a given. You don't want somebody to be able to get under there. You don't want some kid halfway crawled, or even some crazy criminal trying to crawl halfway under your gate operator. You come around the corner and push the button, and it starts moving, right? And you don't even know it, because you don't. Who looks along the bottom of their entire gate if you're going around a corner to see if there's somebody wedged under there, or a child or something? So 2.25 inch gap rule, I think that's pretty standard along. I mean, I think a long time ago it was 4, then 2.25. 2.25 is a pretty safe pretty safe distance to where you're not going to be able to get your hand through there. If anything, you get your hand and your fingers maybe, but that's a hell of a lot better than getting your whole arm through there, right? So that rule is still going to be pretty, pretty crucial. Pinch zones, roller guides, shapes, things like this, we're going to be kind of going over. 501 requirements, fall protection is going to be a big deal. Hey, you know what? If all that comes out of this is we get 10 people using fall protection, we won, right? It was a success that didn't know about it before. So this thing is going to be invaluable. Everybody should print this out and then and go over it. Go over it with your crews. There is no copyrights on this thing. Print, publish, share. I don't care. Take any logos you want off. Put your own logos on there. Use it. Get the information out there. Bottom line is it's just about getting people starting to build safer gates. That's what it's 100% about. And we've got checklists in here, and here's a simple checklist. And Sean, you might like this too. So here's a simple checklist for the TGM 500 and 501 kind of combined a little bit. So this one's for slide gates, and we've got both swing and slide gates in here. So it gives you a quick drawing, a quick idea what it is, and it shows you can have the 2¼ inch apart or screened on the gates, the 4-inch gap. If you went down this checklist, tell me every gate wouldn't be a little bit safer than it is today, right?
Well, it's so, yeah, absolutely going to be safer for sure.
Install. This is for the installer to go through, and this is something for you guys to fill out, sign it, have the installer sign that he's met all these requirements, throw it in your file, snap some photos. Now, if there's a problem later on, and you're standing, in a courtroom or something like that, we don't want anybody to get hurt. But wouldn't you like to have one of these showing that
this
you actually
powerful to have. Very powerful.
Have right from a year and a half later where you went through and did this, and now if somebody went along and removed the sign, somebody went along and changed it or modified it, and you've got this stuff sitting there signed by the installer, the customer's name on there, the address, everything, and it's saying basically it's pretty simple. You got a closed safety device hooked up and tested. The key to this is not just hooked up. We tend in our industry to say, hey, you just have to hook it up, right? And this is actually hooked up and tested and basically verified that it's there. These aren't photoized, glued together. They're not in there, basically put in the right spot, right? So now you've got a verification process. You didn't just send an operator or a piece of equipment out that won't work without the photo eyes hooked up. You're going to train your guys how to put them in, and he's going to have to sign off that he did it. Now that's an extra step that we just don't do right now. Open safety device, same thing, hooked and tested up. Safety, now we get into the safety. A lot of times we don't understand how to properly test these things. So safety sensors, will they stop or reverse when the gate's triggered? Now, obviously, it depends on what the purpose of the sensor is, whether it'll stop or reverse. Manual emergency release, here's a key, no tool required, right? And clearly labeled. I know we've been out to properties before and nobody knows how to even manually release it, right? So this is something that I don't think that we go over enough with our installers, and also we just give them a piece of equipment in a box.
Yes.
Half the time the owners of the company don't even know what's in the box until you get it, right? So power disconnect, how do you disconnect the power? Typically it's a switch, it's labeled and things like this. These are all the kind of things that we're gonna be kind of going over even further in these monthly meetings. And it's every month. We don't have to go through every single bit of it, but if we could all just kind of get together and talk about it, that's all really we got to do, right? Force limits testing. Nobody does this, I don't think. Does anybody test the force limits of the operator?
I mean, no, it's not
Right.
probably not common enough. There are people that do it. We did our training recently, but we're teaching people, right? Well, in the field, I don't know how often our guys are standing in front of the gate to just to see what the gate operator does on the force limit, right? Let's hit something. And then if they do they do it 3 times?
Yeah. Right.
Right.
So then we're going to be going over auto close delay. It's got to be at least 5 seconds. Verify the frame rigidity. Make sure it's not flopping around and things like that. So it's going to cause it to pop off track and possibly cause it to fail. Bottom clearance. Again, all this is your checklist. You can see travel stop. If the gate fails, it doesn't fall more than 45 degrees. That's a big deal, right? So we want to make sure install roller guides. So without getting into huge detail on this, these are forms that are available and everybody should be using. What do you got to lose? I mean, forget about the acronyms on the standard, right? We're talking about real life stuff you can apply in the field tomorrow. So swing gates, similar, a little bit different just because it's going to apply to the swing gates, right? And it's getting into the entrapment zones are a little bit different. These are the standards right here, and you can download these by scanning a QR code. It's right in there. Here's a little bit more detail on the standards. So for the TGM 500 and the TGM 501. So, I mean, that's basically it. And you can go in and, by the way, if you are somewhere where you're dealing with building codes, this was designed designed so that you can apply for the IBC 10411, which is the International Building Code, which permits the approval of alternative methods and methods of construction where the safety intent of the code is met, which is what this is. I mean, if anything you're imagining, what's the intent of a gate safety code? What's the intent of it? Photo eyes, right? The intent is to have a photo eye there, and the reason we do it in the lab is the only way you can make sure that it's going to be there in a lab is to have monitors. The only way, but when you're in the field, you can verify it. So it's a little different. Again, this is to complement what's already out there, not meant to replace what's existing. But if you can go and follow something like this, now we can take stuff that's out there and make it a little bit safer. So I'm going to go over to forums. Can you see these forums? Okay. So again, if you go and click on forums at the top of this, you're going to go through all these forums, and then you're going to get into this is a unique one. Now, this is on gatesafety.com, the one I showed earlier in the video. But this is a checklist for the property owners. Okay, and I don't think we've seen anything like this. This is a checklist for the property owners. It's a little different than what you would see, when you'd hand your crews. But I think that if we can get property owners to go through this as well, and this is where we're talking about, there's not enough public awareness, right? It's easy for us to create standards, but without public awareness, what does it mean? Nothing, right? So this is pretty interesting. Property owner closeout sheet. At the end of the project, if you really are for safety and you're ethical, I don't think you'd have a problem. If you built it safely, you wouldn't have a problem having a property owner understand what safety features you put on the gate operator. So that's where this comes from. And if you take a look at this, you're looking to see if a TGM 500, and we're going to have labels you can throw on there if you want. You don't have to. You can throw a TGM 500 label on the side of the gate operator after you've done that. After you've done your checklist, right? You could throw a sticker on there and sign it if you want. And we're going to have some stickers available for you to throw on there. They don't cost any money. Print them yourself. We'll mail you some, whatever you need. We want to make sure everybody understands, that the safety is the priority. And you're going to go through this checklist. You're going to say warning signs and decals, were they installed, right? Manual release instructions, are they explained to you? Remember I got in that earlier? It's one thing to put these manual releases on the gate operators, but a lot of times we don't explain that to them, right? And they need to know this information so they can check off. Was the signage on there? Was it explained to me? Do I understand how to, if there's a power outage, how to do it? Smart operation features, gate reverses. There's no reason we can't show this to them, is there? Make them understand.
No, I think it's a good idea to show them. Make sure they understand it.
Yeah, make them understand the safety features and why it reverses and why when it's why when it's got the opening one it stops, it doesn't just reverse. Why when it's closing, that safety sensor makes it reverse. Things like this. So have this conversation with the property owners, and you've now just increased safety 100 times, in my opinion, because they're the ones going to be out there dealing with their kids, their dogs, and themselves around the gates after we leave, right? We already know most of this. We know what the gate's going to do, what the functions are. So gate, and make sure the gate stops if the sensors are blocked. I mean, we can show them, hey, have someone stand there, we're push something in front of it. We can show them that the gates are stopping. Edges, if they were installed, show them how those work. Press them and make them understand what an edge is, right? Not just assume that you could put an edge on a gate and they might not even know that it's an edge. They may be looking for a photo eye or think there's no photo eye. Timers and auto close settings, explain that to them. This thing's going to close after 5 seconds, 15 seconds, and that's your chance right there. Maybe this gate closes too soon and you left, and you might have been able to adjust that by 20 seconds, and that's the difference between somebody getting hurt or not, right? Or a vehicle even getting hit. So anyway, once you get through this thing, go through, they can check this off. There's no pinch zones. Now you get into the human safety, no risk of entrapments, walk pathway, pedestrians is clear and safe. And you can basically check that stuff off. That's something that I think would be really, really helpful. Again, you could download all those forms. And that's kind of what we're looking at with the TGM 500 standards. And I'd like to see it get a lot more support in the industry, to be honest. What, Sean, you're doing gate operators, and in fact, you're doing some gate operator training. What did you think of all that?
Yeah. No, I think it's simple, right? It's not too complicated. I don't have to be a professor to read it and understand it.
Right.
You do a good job of keeping it very simple. And I like how you're attacking the safety from the consumer or the end user as well, right? We need to educate them just as much as we need to educate the installers, installation team. Give them simple tools and checklists. And maybe letting people know it's not that hard to make gates safe.
Yep.
And anything, as long as we're doing working towards a safer gate. Does it have to be perfect out the gate the first time? No, you like to always do better. Understand different ways of improving the safety, additional devices and things. So physical barriers to keep those gates safe, right? Um, so I think it's a great tool, and I love how you're making it. Like the best way to improve awareness and increase safety on gate safety is make it available to as many people as possible and not selective or just for those that can afford it, right?
Yep.
We're saving people. This should be available for everybody. Yes, absolutely. We'll cover as much of this as possible in our gate training, our plug and play, but that is a simplistic showing people, giving confidence that these gate operators can be a successful add-on to your business, but they also need to be done in the right way and safe and educate your consumers as well as your installers.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the purpose of it. I mean, it's been in the works for a while, and I've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I mean, we talk a lot, right? And I'm like, how do you help the industry move, how do you help it move in a direction that's actually going to get, and I think we've kind of stalled out. I mean, the people that know about gate safety know about gate safety, and nobody new is really learning much. And I think that it drives me nuts. We hear a lot about gate safety, and it's just, we got to build them safer. We got to build them safer. And I'm keep saying, okay, well, where, how, right?
Well, and I love the approach of telling them why do we need a reversing sensor? Why do we need a 2.25 inch gap or smaller? Why do we worry about the spacing and the that are protrusions? And giving examples so they can relate to it. They understand why. They're
Yep.
more likely to remember it, or when they have the anomalies or the situations where it's difficult to follow the guideline exactly, they understand the reason why, and they'll probably come up with a great solution, a modification in the environment, right? To make sure we keep the data safe as we possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's common sense safety. I think that's what we needed a little bit in our industry. I think it got so complicated that everybody was afraid to even talk about it. And I know there's going to be some fallback and some pushback just on this alone.
There's still going to be no pushback on just simplicity. You can always take this and do more. That's fine. If you
Yeah.
guys, if somebody wants to do more and be more specific, or I don't know, a higher level, that's fine, fantastic. But there's definitely a need for a simple approach of just making gates safer than they are. You're not sitting here saying this is the best and the only way to make gates safe. You're saying, hey, there's a great start.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't agree with that. I don't know if anybody can, brother.
It's gonna be interesting. So we won't be issuing certificates on this. And like I said, I looked at it a bunch of different ways and said, hey, do we need to certify people? Do we need to do that? So we are though going to be encouraging people to obviously go over the instructions. And one thing I didn't show, which I think I'm going to show you as well, is we have a digital version of how to. Let me pull this up. We have a digital version. If you could see the screen again.
Okay.
Okay, right here where it says online checklist. Do you see that?
Yep.
So you click on that, and you can do this from your mobile phone, and it's a digital version. So your guys in the field don't have to take any paperwork out with them. They just fill this thing out, and they hit. Obviously, I've got it pre-filled with my Gmail or whatever it is, but it's fill in your company name will be pre-filled in if you once you do it once with your with your Gmail account, and then installer's name if it's tied to him. Then he goes through and it's going to ask him similar questions, almost the same questions that we just went through. Yes, yes, yes. You're going to answer yes, 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 no. And by the time you're done going through this checklist, which is what basically it's a digital version of that, you're going to be able to hit yes, you've confirmed all these things, and send yourself a copy of this. And it's gonna know that date, the address, when you were out there. Send yourself a copy. The installer can do it from the field, and
You're making it too easy, Brian. You're making it too easy, man.
and now you've got right here TGM checklist. The response has been recorded. So you just would have got an email from so now you know when your installers are done and what that it's all ready to go.
I love it. Well, I got a
So
couple minutes here before I got to catch a plane. I'm sure you
yeah,
can continue on, but I wanted to jump on, take the opportunity to be on the first one meeting. I love what you're doing, bro. I don't know where you find the energy to do all this shit. I feel like I'm lazy watching you, man.
no, man, I appreciate it. And we'll try to get some of this out there to one of your gate safety trainings you got coming up, or gate safety,
Yes,
not
sir.
gate safety trainings, but
Not
we'll
gate
turn it into a
safety.
gate safety
Look,
training.
I'm gonna stick with plug and play. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm not a gate. I'm not a gate installation expert, but we're gonna do plug and play gate installations. Okay, training. That's a simplistic approach. Getting people, basic one-on-one installation of gate operators so they get their hands wet, get a little bit of experience. We're doing it with Nice North America. Great manufacturer, but we need more. And that comes from the Fence University. You guys have got the quick start class, and you've got way more technical classes for the people that really want to get into the gate installation training. Ours is very basic, but I will promise you the checklist you just provided, we'll make sure that everybody has that at the gates training that we're doing, which is June 24th.
Okay.
In Evansville, on June 24th. It's part of a 4-day training. So it's not inclusive. It's not an add-on. It's just part of the iDrive power systems training. We're just adding the plug and play gate systems into it.
Nice. You think this is something we could, everybody should start adding into their training? A little bit of safety training?
I think that it's easy, right? Why not? It's free. You've done all the hard work. You've blazed the path. Kudos to you, brother. Good job.
Nice. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm sure I'll see you out there. I'm definitely going to try to make it out to that, and maybe that'll be our first in-person gate safety training.
Oh man, there you go. Let's just make it happen. You put it out in the air already. It's already happened. There it is. That's how we plan shit. See you guys.
I appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, there you guys have it. That's kind of a brief summary of what we're going to be going over. Next month, we didn't get enough people on this one, but I think this is going to build up some traction. We get some more people signed up for the next one, or it's free. You just got to click the link and come on to the Teams meeting, and we'll have an even more in-depth conversation about gate safety. If you are interested in getting any of that information I showed you on this meeting today, or this maybe is going to get streamed throughout some of the podcasts, then go to gatesafety.com. Click on the link that's for the gate installers, or you could probably get some of this at the gatesafety.com website as well. Hopefully we can get more people interested in talking about real life gate safety and how we can apply this in the field and make projects even more safer than they are right now. Everybody have a great one. We will see you on the next one. Actually, what's the next one? It's June, so July 1st at 1 p.m. July 1st at 1 p.m. The link will be up at gatesafety.com.